Joining us now is a Republican delegate from Prince William County, Scott Lingamfelter. He's also a leading candidate for the Lieutenant Governor Republican nomination. That's going to be solved in a convention on May 18th in Richmond. About 13,000 or so registered. And great to have you with us, Delegate Scott Lingamfelter.
Good morning, John. How are you?
Doing fine. I want to get right to the reality of the situation. Delegate, the future of the Republican Party in Virginia, in my opinion, is at stake. Getting defeated in 2012 and 2008, the only statewide victory in Virginia since 2005 was Bob McDonnell's big win in 2009. So the state is turning blue, no question. Need a win. With less than 2 weeks to the convention, dirty tricks and deception, in my judgment, is a prescription for electoral disaster. What do you think about some of the shenanigans with these illegal attack ads that have gone on recently? You have been at the target of one of them.
Well, I think it goes to the character of the candidates responsible. Look, John, we've spoken before. The biggest casualty of the postmodern era, if you will, the era that we're in right now in politics, is truth and trust. You know, John Adams said that the people have an indefeasible right to understand the character of their leaders. And the reason that he believed that was because it's the character of the leader that's decisive. Because if a person who is elected who has poor character, if they don't tell the truth, if they look you in the face and essentially lie to you, then what are they going to do when no one's looking? What are they going to do when you entrust them with your rights, with the policy, with your money? I mean, these are the kinds of things that are absolutely important. And if there's one thing that we need to do in this new era, I hope it will be a new era when we go back and inventory what we did right under the Reagan years and pull it forward and do it now. Radical idea, right, John?
Yes.
And actually dig in. What we can do, what we have available to us, is to really put people in office who are trustworthy. And there are people who are trustworthy, but when you're out doing these kinds of dirty tricks, when you're not being truthful about your record, then you destroy trust and you just perpetuate the cycle that we're in. McDonnell won because he ran on a positive message. He didn't run around trying to slam other people. He was truthful about what he was and who he was. And that's why he won. And we have to bring those kinds of candidates forward. Now, admittedly, I don't agree with everything the governor's done in his policies.
Yes.
But at the same time, I believe him to be an honest man. And I wish I could say that about everybody in this race.
Well, you know, we had Prince William, Chairman of Supervisors, Corey Stewart, on Friday, and I was questioning him about these illegal campaign ads because all the evidence that I've seen from Bill Riley and others really give enough fact to the issue that they look like they may have emanated or probably emanated from the Stewart campaign, especially when you look at Lee Bond, who we've asked to come on the air, and we're going to keep asking for that. They all tie back to his campaign. Corey Stewart denied any knowledge of it, said he didn't have anything to do with Lee Bond, although he was an employee for one of his campaigns, at least, also an employee in Prince William County government. Do you think his denials are authentic?
Well, let me just say this. I'm focused on a positive campaign. You know that. You followed my campaign. But let me respond by saying it this way. I was born in the morning, John, but I wasn't born yesterday morning. And I think that people who look at the evidence that have been brought forward by you, by Jim Riley, by Sean Kinney, and others who've really spent some time digging, Mr. Stewart has some real explaining to do, quite frankly. And the denials, I think, are just that. Look, we need to understand that if we're going to be successful as Republicans, we have to run on a positive message that's focused on the ideas that people care about. Constitutional government, focus on vibrant families and successful small businesses. I mean, when you look at the record And that's really, John, probably the most important thing to take away this morning. The best way to tell what a person is going to do is, in fact, what they have done. Now, Mr. Stewart has a record. I have a record. All the candidates running for lieutenant governor, with the exception of about 3 of them who have not been elected to anything, all have records. And you ought to be able to go to those and say, okay, what has this person really done? Have they raised taxes? Have they lowered taxes? Have they helped law enforcement? Have they hurt law enforcement? Have they moved good, solid economic policies forward or not? And look at those things, and that should be the basis upon which you make your decision. And so I think when people look at my record, they're going to see me having passed the audit bill that found the $7 billion, the $1.4 billion down in VDOT. I've got debt as the chairman of the Capital Outlay Committee down to 4% of the entire budget. That's remarkable. Capital outlay discipline, on building things. I mean, we built an opera house in Prince William, for Pete's sake. So what is that core government? And we've also reduced at the state level our spending, really reduced it, not just paper reductions, but really reduced it by $7 billion. And that's what Virginians sent us down there to do. And that's the kind of lieutenant governor I'm going to be, someone who is what he says he is and does what he says he will.
Well, I think that's the issue. If you look beyond the all-important nominating convention in 2 weeks, who's going to be number 2 on the ticket? And I think if you've got a candidate that has some issues that you scratch your head and say, a lot of these things don't add up. I don't think that Chairman Stewart's denials added up. I don't think the evidence leads to the denials, and I don't think he's presented any evidence to the contrary. But when this kind of thing happens, you start looking at, everything. Now, I want to ask you this. About a week ago in the mail, I got a slick mailer from Corey Stewart. And in that mailer, he was pointing a gun with a dog. Now, it looked like the dog photo got shopped in. That was number 1. But I did a little research, and Corey Stewart has not had a hunting license in 7 years. So was that a fake?
Yeah. Well, it's sort of like this. Would you hire someone who's fudged on their resume like that? I mean, that's essentially what we are doing in this campaign, John. We have our resume in front of the people. And when you're just out there doing this sort of thing and you don't even have a hunting license for 7 years, I mean, do you really think people are that stupid that they won't go and look and see what the evidence is? Look, this isn't about hunting license. It's about the credibility of the candidate. Are they who they say they are? Do they do what they say they will? I think most people have had it with brochure candidates. I think they've just about had it. I think they're looking for the genuine article. They want somebody who's going to go to Richmond and roll up their sleeves. It's got a real conservative record. Look at debt in Prince William, up $203 million. Look at household tax bills, up 11%. Look at the budget hikes that we've seen in every single year down there. 4% real estate taxes in 2012, up. Mine, and I live in Prince William. I mean, I actually live there. And my home real estate taxes have gone up 13.5% in the last 10 years. And so when you look at the record, it doesn't comport with the resume. And look, I'm not. This is not about bashing Corey, okay? Right. What this is about is looking at the resumes of these leaders and asking the critical question, okay, what has he or she done? And that will be decisive in determining what they will do. And I believe I've got a solid resume. I certainly haven't fudged it. I think I've been straightforward. I'm an open book in that respect. But I think it's awfully important that as delegates go to Richmond, they say, wow, if we're doing something that's silly, is pretending that we're hunters and we don't even have a hunting license for 7, doesn't he think that the Democrats will be looking at that? I mean, that's the kind of thing that just destroys candidacies. It's a small thing, but it has the effect of creating a composite picture that, hey, look, this person is not who he or she says he or she is.
See, I think that's the issue. I think you hit it on the head. It speaks to credibility, and whoever the lieutenant governor nominee is, the question has to be asked, at the convention, is this candidate going to help the ticket or hurt the ticket? And,
well, you're exactly right. And one of the things I've said, John, I'm a combat veteran. Now, look, newsflash. We are loaded with veterans in Virginia. If Kim Cuccinelli wants a solid partner out there working with him to get elected, then I think you're going to be looking for someone who's got that particular characteristic. The other piece is this, John, and I think this is something that's just largely gone unsaid. I mean, I can't believe it. So, good luck trying to get this issue across. But look, the lieutenant governor has got to be ready to be lieutenant governor on day one, and you don't want to think about it, but they have to be ready to be governor on day two. Now, who fits that picture? And it's someone, I believe, who's got good, solid experience in Richmond, who understands the legislative process, understands very well the policies here in Virginia, and has the maturity and leadership ability to get the job done. And I would suggest to you that I can fill that bill.
Well, let's get back to Prince William County taxes. Now, we have to talk about this because the big Tea Party got together, the middle resolution, the Tea Party Patriots, they had this big vetting process. They backed Stewart. That's fine. They have a right to back whoever they want. But I thought the Tea Party, which I'm not a member of, so give that up front, I thought it stood for taxed enough already. I don't understand when I had the chairman on a show on Friday. I mean, you've got it right there in front of me, black and white. There were about 4 or 5 times, I believe, where he voted to raise property tax rates through increasing the mill rate. He was trying to say on our show that, well, the total tax bill went down, therefore it's not a tax increase. But I don't see how that math works. I mean, it went down because your home value got crushed. So how is that a positive thing, and how is that not a tax increase?
Well, this is a page out of Obama's economic approach. I mean, this is the sort of flimsy. I mean, I got to tell you, anybody who would actually say that probably couldn't pass the math SOL in Virginia. I mean, the truth of the matter is our taxes have gone up. And what some of these boards have done, not all of them, but some of these boards have done is essentially taken advantage of the price of the house to keep your tax bill actually up. It's not about the rate. It's how much money you're actually paying out. In my case, it's been 13.5%. And I was talking to some people in Princewood the other day and said, have your taxes gone up? I said, no, what planet do you live on? They've all gone up. And so this is the sort of thing that crushes the credibility of a candidate when they're not truthful about what their record has been. Look, if Corey Stewart has raised taxes in Prince William, and he can make the cogent case that he had to do that for schools and police and fire, fine. People are not completely stupid. I mean, they'll actually, they understand the issues, but don't go around and say that you've done one thing when in fact you have not. It really goes to your credibility. And we have got to elect people at all levels of government who are what they say they are, will do what they say they will, and be honest. I'm proud of my tax record. I've kept taxes low. I've fought debt. It's an open book, and it's an open book for Chairman Stewart as well. And when people look at it, then they have to scratch their heads. And as far as the Tea Party is concerned, I don't have a problem with what they did. I mean, I went down like everybody else. I was interviewed like everybody else. I'm fine with whatever they want to do. But I do think that it was not it was an era of omission. When you don't look closely at someone's real record, and then you make a decision about them, then you kind of get stuck with the decision they have right now.
Well, at the end of the day, you can't have it both ways. And I think to be on the Republican side with this nationally looked at gubernatorial battle coming up in this state, we're a swing state, all eyes are going to be on it, and you've got a leading candidate for a lieutenant governor who's potentially putting out illegal campaign ads and hasn't been able to give evidence to the contrary that I can see. Number 2, says he didn't raise taxes when he did raise taxes. And to your point, it is defensible if he did. Just say, look, home values went down and I had to have X dollars, so he had to increase the mill to make up for that. It is what it is. Just tell the truth. And then to be putting out a mailer with a hunting gun and a dog, and you don't have a hunting license, I mean, that doesn't make any sense either. So now what it means is that I've got to now, as a journalist, I've got to look at everything he says because I don't believe anything.
Well, I mean, it goes to the issue of resumes. Would you hire someone, any of us, me, anybody, that says one thing and does another, that actually has not been truthful on their resume? And I mean, you can always go through somebody's resume and say, oh, you didn't cross this T, you didn't dot that. I mean, you can always have that sort of picky thing. But this is a 10,000-pound gorilla in the room. I mean, all you have to do is go to the CAFR and you can see spending has gone up in Prince William. I mean, it's laughable to contend otherwise. You know, when you say, well, as Corey has said, and I know he intended well, when he said, I've cut spending $134 million in Prince William. Oh, really? Well, when you go and look at it, what he did was he cut budgets in future budgets, not the current budget. Well, you know, John, that's kind of like throwing the fish back before you catch it. I mean, this is what Obama does. You know, he says, I've lowered future budgets, but you're still getting whacked. And this is the kind of thing that when people inspect it, they look at the record, they scratch their heads and go, that's just complete baloney. Well, the Democrats are going to do the same thing. And we have got to give Ken the very best running mate that he can have. And I think that with my veteran background, my experience in the General Assembly, my record of cutting debt, cutting spending, cutting taxes in Richmond, which is provable and factual, that I will be the strongest candidate to stand with him. And I look forward to doing it because I think we can do so much to help economic growth in this state. We can do so much to actually help Virginians and Virginia families, not like this other fraud, this guy, Terry McAuliffe, who can't even manage to set up a car business in Virginia. So I'm looking forward to being on the ticket with Ken, and I will tell Virginians this. I will stand with them, and I will be truthful. I'll defend liberty, and I won't let them down.
Delegate Lingamfelter, for people that want to get involved in your campaign right now, where do they go?
They go to www.scott, SCOTTFOR4VA, Scott4VA.com. And where they can help now is, you know, if you're not a delegate already, you can't come down, but where you can help us is go on and donate something, $25, $50, whatever. If you want to help me get elected, this is the way you can do it. And then invite your friends. And if you know people who are going to be delegates, call them and say, we've got our guy. Let's get him elected. Okay, we're out of time. We appreciate your joining us today. And, hey, it's only 2 weeks away. Good luck. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Delegate Scott Lingamfelter, one of 7 candidates running for the Republican nomination for lieutenant governor. That's going to be decided in a statewide convention on May 18th in Richmond.